Hi there, Stampers. This is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator from Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada. And I am excited to be here today to share with you this beautiful snowflake card using the beautiful Blizzard bundle from the 2018 Stampin' Up holiday catalog. So this bundle includes the beautiful Blizzard stamp set and the coordinating framelit. So as you can see, there's some great greetings in here. There's some background images, some little snowflakes, a little swirl. I call these little freckles. And then there is this great framelit that actually cuts out 17 snowflakes with one pass through the big shot. And all different, there's a few different shapes and different sizes. So it's a great framelit. So I'm gonna show you a way to use it that is not how it's intended to be used. And then we're gonna use the stamp set as well to create this beautiful card. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to use the framelit along with our Big Shot embossing mats. These mats are available in the annual catalog, and they will allow you to turn any of our framelits into embossed images. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to bring in my Big Shot. Okay, so I've got my Big Shot platform, and then I'm going to put a cutting mat down. You can see that this is a well-loved cutting mat. And then I'm going to pull in my framelit, and I'm going to put it cut side up. So normally you would put it this way if you were cutting, but we are going to put it upside down. And then I'm going to grab a piece of Whisper White cardstock. And this die measures 4 inches by 5 inches. I cut this a little bit larger. I think it's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to line it up with one of the edges and then not worry about that overhang. That's not gonna matter too much because we're gonna cover that over anyways. Okay, so I'm gonna put that right like that. And then I'm going to take this blue silicone mat, which comes in with the embossing platform, and just carefully set that right on top. And then this also comes with the embossing platform. This is a hard white mat. That's gonna go right on top of that. And then I'm gonna feed it through the Big Shot. And when you feed it through, there is hardly any pressure whatsoever. Like, it doesn't feel like it's doing much of anything. Put my Big Shot out of the way. And then when we peel back these mats, can you see that? You have this gorgeous embossed pattern. I'm hoping that you can see that on camera. So all of these little snowflakes are just embossed into the cardstock, and it looks beautiful on both sides. You can use either side. Okay, so let's move on. Now what we're gonna do is, let's see here. I'm gonna grab a piece of scrap paper and we're gonna do some stamping. So I've got a piece of navy cardstock that measures 4 inches across by 1.5 inches. And I'm gonna use the snowflake image from the beautiful Blizzard. And instead of ink, I'm gonna use some shimmer paint. So this is our Frost White shimmer paint, which is also in the 2018 holiday catalog. We have it in 4 different colors. We've got it in Frost White. We've got it in, I think it's called Vegas Gold. We've got it in a bronze or a copper and champagne. So 4 different colors. And you wanna give it a shake. Give it a really good shake. So this kind of has a consistency of maybe like a paint or a thinner paint. It's not a thick paint. So once you shake it, I have a finger dauber that is dedicated to each one of the colors. And I'm just going to dip that right into the lid and then tap that onto my stamp. So I'm inking it up with the shimmer paint, and then I'm going to stamp. And you get that beautiful shimmery image. Hopefully that is showing up okay on camera. And then I'll just keep doing it. So I'll add some more. And then we'll add some in here. So I'm just gonna keep doing it until that whole piece of navy is covered. And if you experiment with the different colors on different colors of cardstock, you can get some really, really neat looks. Okay, I'll put this guy right here. Okay, so now we're gonna set that aside to dry. Now to clean this, you can use what I would recommend using water or our Stampin' Mist and Stampin' Scrub, which let me grab that, because you don't want to let that sit on your stamp for too long. And I know we have that new chamois that's in the catalog, and you can get some of it off with that, but I find that it doesn't work quite as well. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a couple spritz, a little bit of a spritz with the mist, and then give it a good scrub to get most of that off. And I did this at a demonstration at a couple weekends ago, and I didn't clean my stamp right after. So you can see that it's in those grooves and it will not come out now. But it doesn't affect the way the stamp is stamping or anything, so it doesn't affect the stamp at all. Okay, so move that out of the way and we'll set that aside to dry. And then the next thing that we're going to do is I've got a piece of, we can move this out of the way. I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock that measures I think it's 1 inch by 3 inches, and I'm going to use the image or the greeting that says, "If a hug were a snowflake, I'd send you a blizzard." Such a cute little saying. And I'm going to use some Night of Navy ink up the image, and then I'm just going to center this, excuse my head, right on there like that. And then what do I have on the inside? Okay, so then I've got another piece of Whisper White cardstock that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to use the Season's Greetings, which is also from this stamp set, ink it up with Night of Navy, stamp it in the center, and then I'm going to grab my Petal Pink ink, forgot to grab, so thankfully everything is right close at hand, so I can just grab that. So my Petal Pink ink, I'm going to use the snowflakes to just kind of decorate the inside just a little bit. Okay, so that just dresses the inside up a little bit. And then I'm going to take my card base, which measures 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and it's scored at 5 1/2. So this opens like this. Okay, so use that and grab my Fast Fuse, which if you're a Fast Fuse user, depending on when you're watching this video, we do have some on the clearance rack. I was excited to see some of those refills come back. Fast Fuse, I love Fast Fuse adhesive. So this is just going to go in the center on the inside of the card. And then I've got my embossed piece, which I am going to add my stamped snowflake piece across the top. So we'll line that up. The shimmer paint does not take long to dry at all. Okay, and that is just a bit long, so I'm going to grab my scissors and just trim that. Okay, and then we are going to mat this onto a piece of the Petal Pink cardstock. So this piece measures 1 1/8 inches by 3 1/8. So I'll add a little bit of adhesive to that. Pop this in the center. And then add some adhesive to this. And that's gonna go along the bottom here. Actually, I think I'm gonna put this one in the center, and you'll see why in a minute. And then I've got a snowflake that is cut out using that same Framelit, except I cut it out, and I cut it out of shimmery white cardstock. And I need mini glue dots. Here we go. All right. Oh, those are not mini glue dots. These are mini glue dots. Okay. So mini glue dot, I'm gonna stick that right in the center, and I'm gonna pop this up, or put this right there. It's okay if it hangs off the edge just a little bit because the card is just slightly larger. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use my hole punch. And what I like to do is when I'm wrapping twine around my card, I like to create a little notch for it to sit in so that it doesn't move up and down. So I'm just punching like half of a circle, really, using the 1/16 inch punch. And then I've got some of our petal pink and silver baker's twine. And this is just gonna get wrapped around, and it's gonna nestle right into that little groove that I created. And then I'm gonna tie a bow. And I love to leave the ribbon on the spool if I can when I tie, because then there is less waste. So then I'll just adjust this a little bit, make it the size that I want it. Okay, I'm happy with that. Grab my ribbon scissors and snip the end. All right, and now this piece is ready to go onto our card base, and I'm gonna use dimensionals to stick it on just because we've got that bulk from the twine on there. It'll sit better if we use dimensionals. So I'll put one in each of the corners and one in the center. Peel off the backing. And then that's just gonna go in the center on here. Like that. And then I had some little, they were on my desk. What did I do with them? Just check something here. Okay, well, I can't find them right now, but we will use rhinestones. There are some embellishments in the holiday catalog. See on this one, this, I think they're called clear and frosted enamel shapes or something along those lines. So I was gonna put one of those in the center, but they've kind of disappeared. They're here somewhere. But we will just use a rhinestone instead. So I used one of the larger rhinestones and put that in the center, and there's our card done. And then that's what the inside looks like. So that is a great way to use this Framelit. So you can use it to emboss and then also to cut your snowflakes as well. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that video. If you're looking for more inspiration, feel free to visit my blog at www.stamptreasures.com. And I will link the supplies in the description below if there's anything that you're wondering about what I used, or the links to my shop as well. All right, thanks for watching. Take care.